Ladies and gentlemen, WePlay Dota 2 League playoffs continue right now. Season 2 playoffs well underway, gods. Yesterday, we saw Liquid get knocked down by Alliance, and today we have our other winners bracket round 1 match, Na'Vi versus Empire.
Yeah, yesterday's match started off great with Alliance taking a 2-1 series against Liquid. Liquid, of course, playing with the standard in a couple of those games, but they still look really solid. Teams also starting to adjust to 6.79, so it's a lot at stake for $25,000 of prize money, and the teams have to quickly adjust to the new patch. So some interesting games we've seen.
Yeah, it's always fun when the entire tournament's played on 6.78. Then 6.79 gets dropped, and, well, all the teams scrambling to adjust. We've seen everywhere from Asian Dota to European Dota. Really interesting to see how the two scenes have started to diverge again. But on that note, guys, we're going to hop inside the draft. This one is a best of 3. The loser of this series immediately will play Liquid at 20 CEST, which is in a little less than 3 hours from now, assuming the series does not run late. So, introducing the draft and introducing the teams, we have Empire, first place team in Group A. Really cruised their way through that group. They took down Speed. They never had to play Alliance in the double elimination GSL style format, but didn't drop a set. Beat Roxkiss, beat Alliance, or rather Speed Gaming, and here they are.
Yeah, who did they beat in their second match? After
Speed Gaming.
Okay, so Roxkiss then Speed Gaming. Okay,
yeah, so they never actually played Alliance.
Because Speed Gaming beat Alliance.
They took care of business.
Getcha. All right, so Na'Vi, they were second place in Group B. They did drop a game to Team Liquid, who topped the group. As a result, Na'Vi finishing second place in their group. Well, Alliance also second place in their group. These two teams didn't actually get to meet until later on in the playoffs, assuming the stars align.
Yeah, when push comes to shove, Alliance did take down Liquid. They had to use a stand-in, but I would say still Alliance did play better overall that series, and I don't think you can attribute all of it to the stand-in factor. PPD actually did a very nice job as the stand-in, but the draft is underway, and it will be a Batrider first pick for Team Empire. Na'Vi still going with their classic offlaner in the Bounty Hunter. They get the support Visage, very strong here even in this patch, I still feel, and Empire back for the Naga. The first round of bans look quite standard. I think the one interesting one is just that Lich continuing to be a high priority ban, even in the Western scene, just like he is over in China. And now, well into the second phase of bans, and Nightstalker actually getting the axe here.
Yeah, Nightstalker, I guess, is something Na'Vi used once or twice for then in mid lane with all his recent buffs here. So, for the most part, it looks like similar heroes to what we saw in 6.78, especially by Empire with the Batrider Naga Siren. Both heroes receiving nerfs, but Empire deciding both heroes still well worth picking here. And in various ways, there's sort of some slight improvements. Like Batrider can maybe have a slightly stronger jungle time because of the change to the small camping and medium camp if you get lucky and don't get golems.
Yeah.
As for Na'Vi, the Bounty Hunter first pick is probably the main change for 6.79. This hero just becomes a bit more high priority with the changes to the offlane as well as the neutral sharing XP.
Yeah, normally you'd see them slip that in for Funny, maybe as their third or fifth pick in the past, but they grab it here immediately in the first stage with their first pick of the second set of picks. So Empire now, well, we're into the second side of the draft, and these arrow indicators continue to be facing the wrong direction, which confused me earlier, but...
Oh, really? Oh, I just
yeah, they're facing the wrong way.
Oh my gosh.
Volvo, please fix. But Na'Vi goes for the jungle Enigma here, so...
Empire love to go, like, through Doombringer, I'd say. We could see the Silencer come out with this even.
And Doom would be great against the lineup with Enigma and Visage.
They don't always run it as a jungle hero. They've run it from in the mid lane for Mag, and I think it's one of their best heroes as far as stats go. They play really well with Doombringer.
Well, Doom has been just a ridiculous hero for this patch in general. I don't know if he's dropped a game. I mean, maybe he has, but not one that I've cast anyway. So I feel like for games on BTS, he's sitting at 5 or 6-0 in 6.79. We've seen a lot of Doom play, especially in the West. Not too much in China, but well, now it's a Luna coming out. This has been your flavor of the week carry. Just offers you a lot in the early engagements, helps you push. Doesn't need too much farm to be effective, and the items that she does need are very easy to build towards. We've seen a lot of Luna. They now have their safe lane farmer for Silent. We know, well, I imagine this is going to be a solo mid-Batrider, but I guess it could be an offlaner. Mainly a question of, is it going to be a defensive tri-lane from Na'Vi, and if so, how much can they actually get from that offlane bat?
Yeah, and I think if you're putting an offlane, it's for Na'Vi with the Enigma, that's almost guaranteed to be in the jungle for Puppy. So that's something which Empire may want to consider running an offensive trial against, just to punish the weak dual lane of Na'Vi. Alternatively, they want to do something to either get a greedy jungler of their own or go aggressive, I feel.
Yeah, the thing is, if you run a jungle bat against Bounty Hunter, I'd say it's actually pretty weak, because Bat can just come in, leech all your experience for those camps, or Bounty Hunter can come in, leech all your experience, and maybe even steal a couple of the big creeps too. So I haven't seen this particular matchup yet on this patch, but just looking at the way the patch has changed experience sharing, I don't think Jungle Bat is too advisable against an offlane bounty hunter.
Navi go Pugna here. So we saw this hero in the DK Tongfu series, picked up twice in a row by Tongfu in some sort of early game-centric push strats, going for double Necrobook 3s, and Na'Vi, it looks like they wouldn't be able to push and apply pressure themselves. They've got their 2 supports, so Pugna's going to be either in the mid lane for Dendi, or in like the safe lane kind of farming role with the Visage dual lane.
Mass Necrobooks early to mid game pushing lineups have just been winning games left, right, and center, especially in the Chinese Dota. Today we saw more of it from Rising Stars. They went for, it was going to be a triple Necrobook strat, and even their support Lich was getting the gold to farm one. And that was only taking like 3 towers early on, didn't have that many kills, just the extra passive gold gain you get does start to add up a bit, and getting more gold for ending kill streaks, things like that. It all seems to add up to early Necrobooks for a lot of these heroes, and Enigma, Pugna, both heroes that can look to build one. The ban from Na'Vi, you mentioned that Jungle Doom, it is now removed from the pool, and well, they're looking for this Batrider to be headed solo mid with that ban, and we'll have to see what is this last pick going to be.
Yeah, they need... It looks to me like they need another solo hero. They could well run that offensive trial if they want to try to punish Na'Vi. They've got the Batrider who can solo mid. Could also solo, I guess, the safe lane against the Bounty Hunter, but there's lots of heroes who can put safe lane to beat a Bounty Hunter. The Queen of Pain's there. Otherwise, if they want to go for something like a Puck, they can throw it in. At the same time, they don't want to get like a Queen of Pain Puck necessarily against the Pugna, because that ward can really crush them.
Yeah, it disables your Blink Dagger as well, depending on what spells you've used before jumping in, so it can be very frustrating for a Puck in particular, but... the last ban now coming out for Empire. Na'Vi do not have Havosts here yet, most likely. I imagine it's going to be a Dendi Pugna. We did see an aggressive tri-lane Pugna in the, I think it was the DK Tongfu series. They actually ran an aggressive tri-lane. Yeah. But with this Enigma pick, that seems a bit unlikely. So probably a mid Pugna and probably a safe lane farmer for Havost. Who do you go for here? Gyro's in the pool is sort of your like old school, or not old school, but go-to carry. No Lifestealer. Weaver is available as well. Those are classic Havost heroes, but do you think they have something new?
Neither's like a great kind of pushing carry hero. So
Death Prophet? I mean, how hard do you want to go for the push here?
Yeah, maybe just more like a standard Dragon Knight. You could put a Dragon Knight either on the carry roll with the Visage, or just in the Dragon Knight mid and put the Pugna in a duel. And Pugna not like the best 1v1 hero for the mid lane. He does alright, but they're going to go Alchemist here. So there's most likely Havost heroes. They want to get themselves at least a true late game carry, so they do have their bases covered. They can push early, pressure towers, but they also have a sort of fallback plan if things don't work out for them.
Yeah, and this is a lineup that just, they defecate gold, to use your phrasing from a few weeks ago. Alchemist is going to rack it up with Grievel's Greed. Bounty Hunter track gold. Not to mention that the support Visage farms pretty fast once he has familiars, and Enigma is obviously a fantastic and very efficient jungler. So Na'Vi, very good lineup at just accruing gold, and also a lineup that uses it pretty well. Pugna, not really thought of as like a hard late game hero, but can build a Hex. The ward is always disruptive in team fights, and to me, Na'Vi, pretty well-rounded draft. Good push, decent late game, mobility, gank power, team fight. They've got a little bit of everything.
Yeah, and there's no easy way of like shutting down an Enigma jungle, stopping the Alchemist farm, unless Empire do want to take that risk and go offensive trialing, which I think they're going to be highly considering here. There's an Alchemist Visage lane with a jungle Enigma. They're thinking, hey, we can shut down that lane with our trialing, your Rubik, Naga Luna. Batrider 1v1 against Pugna should do okay, and then there's plenty of heroes you can send against the Bounty Hunter 1v1 to come out on top, so Empire could have 3 lanes that are either all breaking even or winning. They wouldn't lose a single lane if they want to go for that offensive trial lane.
Yeah, that's where Na'Vi would mainly be banking on maybe Dendi winning that middle lane with slowly spamming the lane down, looking to work on the tower, Enigma smoke ganks, and also just track gold, Grievel's Greed allowing you to catch up, even if you somewhat lose the laning stage. Last pick for Empire now comes out, and looking at probably a solo if they go aggressive tri-lane. If they don't, and it's, say, a jungle bat, no, they'll go Shadow Fiend. So this puts probably a safe lane bat, solo mid Shadow Fiend, and aggressive tri-lane Luna, looks like.
Shadow Fiend could go against the Bounty Hunter, I guess, as well, depending on how they want to match these things up. But Batrider is the hero who can kind of crush a Bounty Hunter a bit better there.
Yeah, it depends if they want to pull the Shadow Fiend Sentry Wards. Yeah. Ultimately, if you're on point with your raises, it's pretty hard for Bounty Hunter to win that lane against a pooled Shadow Fiend, but all Funnick really cares about, get his levels, maybe look to disrupt some of those other lanes around that 5-6 minute mark. And Gods, game 1, Russian Dota. The last Russian Dota that we cast was Rock's Kiss versus Empire.
Oh yeah, that was good.
23 kills in 4 minutes. This game could be a bloodbath. I don't know if it's going to be that bloody, but I'm looking forward to it.
If something like that happens again, I'll be very happy with this tournament. We've already seen some amazing games here in WePlay, and well, we've got at least 3 or 4 best of 3s that remain, as well as a best of 5 hero there. So.
Yeah, the loser bracket finals are best of 5, and the grand finals are best of 5. So we have 2 more best of 3s today, and then 2 more best of 5s in the days to come. as well as the winner bracket final. So 1 extra best of 3 there.
So 1 more best of 3 and 2 best of 5s.
Yeah, there
Cool.
you go. Math is hard. All right, let's introduce the teams, guys. It's game 1 of a best of 3. Na'Vi on the Dire side. Both teams are using their full rosters for this game. No stand-ins or anything like that. We'll start with the 1 position player. It's Havost on your Alchemist. Funnick, your offlane. Bounty Hunter. Well, Dendy will be taking over that solo mid role as the Pugna. Kuroki, your support Visage extraordinaire. And that puts Puppy onto your jungle Enigma.
Well, for Team Empire, they're deciding to pick up their last couple of heroes here. They are the teams who won Group A, coming into the playoffs here without a loss to their name recently. Well, they also won their group back in the Phase 1 as well, so they're looking really solid all around. Silent can be on the Luna. Always want to fly playing the support Nagasai. And Vengscore rounding off the trial with a Rubik. Then we've got Scandal on Batrider, and that leaves Mag to actually play the Shadow Fiend. So I would have expected Scandal and Mag to maybe have swapped these heroes around, but it looks like we will see Mag on a true sort of carry of sorts.
I gotta say, this is quite a collection of Rubik items we've got here, since we have a pause, but yeah, looks like it should be a solo mid bat, like you were mentioning, and
yeah,
probably still that aggressive tri-lane, I think.
Yeah,
Silent normally is the tri-lane.
Yeah, and Scandal not likely to be in an off-lane position here. They like to give him space to just control the game, get a fast blink dagger up, and just do his thing. So
you know, I'm interested to see how Scandal does this game. Mentioning him because we haven't seen him in a week or two, and it seemed like maybe he was just a bit tired. They'd just gotten back from Star Ladder the last time we cast them, but he was playing really well in the mid game and the late game, but losing his lane consistently every game, even in matchups that we felt he should win. Like he was OD mid against some melee here, I think it was Timbersaw, and ended up losing his lane in one of those series. So for me, when I'm looking at Empire, I would like to see the Scandal of old return, where he just crushes his lane, snowballs the game, and really takes the fight to his opponents.
Yeah, well, the Batrider with the nerf damage, it gets a little bit harder, having that 10 less base damage, but it's still definitely possible to win and dominate lane. Currently he's seeing on 0 base damage. That's an interesting little bug.
Yeah. That's,
oh, he picked his hero after the pause happened, which is what's going down. But
that's a serious nerf to the Batrider. 0 base damage.
I mean, I guess Napalm gives you... So you have to use Napalm to even last hit.
Yeah, you'd have to use it like 4 or 5 times to have some decent base damage there.
That would be one way to nerf the hell out of Batrider.
0 damage. He can't right-click.
Yeah.
You know, I've actually never thought about that. There's not a single hero in Dota that can't right-click. That'd be an interesting concept.
Yeah. You could maybe design a cool hero around that.
Yeah.
Make it so he can't right. He's like permanently in ethereal form.
Yeah. He would just die so easily.
But ethereal form, but with like extra magic resistance. So he's not taking extra damage.
Just can't right click.
He can't get right click, so it's like a super support type hero.
The mechanics are there. Ice Frog, make it happen. All right, guys, we do have an unpause, and we're well underway now. Game 1, it's Na'Vi versus Empire, full on Russian Dota. The last time these two teams faced, I believe, was in Star Ladder Gods, and Empire actually took 1 game off of Na'Vi, but ended up failing to take the series. They did lose 1-2.
Well, it's going to be a swapsies from Empire. They're going to put Scandal in the mid lane for the Shadow Fiend. It's going to be Mag on Batrider, and it looks like they just want to go with a safe lane tri-lane here. Mag heading down towards the bottom lane, but could well just go straight into that jungle. He's got a Stout Shield, Branches, Tengo Salve, so it kind of suggests he does want to go into a lane here, so we may see him go into that off lane a bit later on.
My eyes are really on Funnick this game. Can he... well, is he going to be off lane is the question. It looks like Havost is headed down there. Na'Vi have done a little swapsies as well. Dendy going to be playing your Alchemist now. And Dendy is headed... Is he going mid? Looks like he is. Yeah, Puppy's just going to deny a creep here. No, now Havost going mid. Everybody mid. Havost top. Dendy mid.
Yeah, Havost has not got solo mid items. He's going for a fast Bassi. And
okay. A little bit of lane carousel here from Na'Vi, but in the end, Pugna going to be the safe lane farmer for Havost. And Funnick, I imagine, is going to head around to that off lane. Looks like he did deploy a ward here, and Clarity's up, and actually...
Havost heading back bottom. These lanes keep getting switched up. It's the Bounty Hunter scouting out the Empire heroes, because at first he's like, oh, the tri-lane's not top. So Havost went top. Then he's like, oh wait, the tri-lane is top. So Havost is just going wherever the tri-lane is not. He's going to get a 1v1 matchup against Mag, it looks like.
Yeah, so Bat against Pugna early on. Haven't seen that match. Did he start with the Magic Stick is the big question. No, but should be able to farm it within 1 or 2 blasts. So it's a matchup where...
Empire switching lanes again?
No? Okay.
Wow, these guys are very persistent with this lane switching.
Yeah, and I think in the end, Na'Vi might get the lanes they don't want, but Havost already wrapping around, and in fact, Funnick heading bottom, so it'll be 1 more switch to roll them all, and I don't think the Empire are going to see this, but Na'Vi are wasting quite a bit of time. Already the creeps have met, and already they're going to be missing like 2-3 waves at least. No? Havost? Okay, he doesn't want to be spotted by a ward here, so he's tucking his way through the jungle.
Okay, well, Empire, they missed very little there, so it's Na'Vi who wasted a bit more time. But either way, Na'Vi get the lanes. They can't send the Pugner up against, well, the
tri-lane, yeah, that's just feeding.
He needs the 1v1 matchup, or at least a dual lane versus Soul. He's going to be dual lane with the Visage at top against the Batrider. And this isn't too big a loss for Na'Vi, because for now, Kuroki can actually last hit and get a bit of solo experience and farm. So they're not missing out on... I mean, it's just... Havos is your carry player, but he's on a Pugner here. So losing a little bit is not going to really cripple him too much.
Yeah, it's good to get the levels on the Visage. Just not quite ideal to have a Pugner who's a tiny bit under level. But it's only about 2 waves or so that he missed. Not the end of the world, and already starting to blast Mag out of the lane. So off-lane Bat against a Pugner Visage dual lane. I would say they actually have decent killing power in this lane once they hit level 3 or so. Level 2 Soul Assumption, you have the 1 point in Decrep, and the 2 points in Blast. That's where Mag is really going to have to be careful.
Yeah, Mag taking a lot of damage. He's going to get Grave Tilt at the top lane. Havos wants to go for this skill. Forces out a Firefly.
There is a Soul Assumption here, but Kuroki not quite enough damage to use it.
As for the Empire supports, they've just brought out a smoke using the Courier, so they really want to go. I think directly after this pull, they're going to smoke and probably try and gank mid, kill off Dendi, to get the solo mid Shadow Fiend a nice early start.
Yeah, speaking of that, Shadow Fiend 7-1 for Scandal. Whenever you're up against a jungle Enigma, you do have to worry about those smoke ganks. Not right now, but in, say, like, I don't know, 2-3 minutes or so. Once he's level 5, level 6, and has his black hole, looking to get aggressive. That's normally where Puppey will pick up a smoke and go for the jugular.
Funny rotating towards mid. He's either
gonna find this courier.
Let's say the courier.
Remember, it can't be upgraded until 3 minutes. He's just gonna be late.
That was close.
Oh, Funnick.
He can't really look for a kill on Shadow Fiend, who just salved up as well, so his timing just slightly off there.
We've talked about a lot of the reasons why off-lane bounty has gotten stronger, especially being able to leech experience, but the courier not being able to be upgraded until 3 minutes is another big reason why. It makes courier sniping very simple for him if he's in position to do it.
Yeah. Well,
and hard for the enemy team. Like, to be safe, you kind of have to leave the courier at your tier 2.
Yeah, he's going to linger around this mid lane. If he does sort of move towards mid without using that windwalk, he will get spotted out. He's looking for the courier once again, it looks like. Maybe one last time thinking, hey, what's his Shadow Fiend got? He's going to bring out his bottle sometime soon, but Shadow Fiend going for a fast boot. Shadow Fiend actually hasn't gone bottle.
Yeah, going boots first. Worried about those early ganks, and I think wisely, since if Dendi's here... Oh, Funnick. Maybe looking to go on Scandal. They have no mana for Unstable Concoction, and Scandal should be okay. He'll stop to raise a creep. Funnick now rotating again. He figures the courier's on his way back. He sees Scandal, still no bottle, and still he lurks. But Empire, they've smoked up as well. They've got 3 heroes here, and they've dropped the Sentry. They haven't seen this Bounty Hunter in a long time, and they know Funnick is up to no good.
Yeah, I like this position from there. They're also maybe going to be looking for a kill here on Dendy. There they go. They're going to look... Oh, they don't get the telekinesis.
Oh, Vank score too slow, that base move speed. They're still diving Dendy, but in comes Puppey. He's ready to counter-initiate. Dendy getting thrown back in, but still at basically half HP. The Radiance Current ends up going down. Funnick snipes it. Patient and persistent. In the midst of that chaos and that dive mid, Empire just did not see it coming.
Yeah, they could have upgraded it, but the supports were busy going for that kill and gank, so...
They actually didn't have money because the Naga upgraded to boots.
That
looks like that's what cost
problematic. Them. Well, Funnick is out of mana here at the bottom river after using that last Shadow Walk, but he's hoping for this 4-minute rune. Not going to get it. Actually,
no, they have a lift here. Now the Riptide onto the cliff he goes.
Oh, dear.
There could be a TP sent here, though.
He's got no mana.
And he's on the dire.
He's going to wait till he has 75 mana, though.
They could send him a Clarity as well, but still going to take quite a while. Maybe he uses this bottle of Dendy's. That would probably be the best way to do it. Send him the bottle. Send him a TP, but still, this is a good minute and a half, at least, if not 2 minutes, that'll be trapped up there. So, well played by Vank score in the end.
Yeah, so for Empire, they are still getting decent CS on their 2 main core heroes, the Shadow Fiend as well as the Luna. So, while Shadow Fiend loses his bottle, he's still doing just fine in the mid lane without it. Like, he's got the regen he needs. He just can't really harass Dendy as much as he'd like to without the mana to use those razors.
Yeah, Funnick saying, give me your bottle. Give me your bottle. It's actually going to be a Clarity for him. Dendy does not want his precious charges taken. Yep. And we'll be going back. And he'll get out of this cliff eventually, but still for Na'Vi, they're getting a lot off the map. Puppey, already level 5, 5 minutes in. Not the fastest possible Enigma jungle, but still quite suitable considering he did rotate mid.
Oh, they're going for the kill here. They're going to kill off Funnick on the cliff. They rotated Mag on the Batrider. They said, hey, look, you can bring out a TP scroll, but as soon as it comes out, there's the kill coming out. So Empire get first blood, and that's well worth the rotation from Mag, especially considering he's against a tri-lane where he can't get experience. So Empire patient, and they get a kill.
That courier, if it wasn't already ferrying something to Dendy mid when that lift happened, it could have easily been there in time. Send him a TP, get him back safely, and give him the mana during that time. But, well, it was already mid. That bottle crowing, I mean, it's rare to see it, but once in a while it does cost you a bit, and here it certainly does.
As for the rest of Na'Vi, they're going to get a fast T1 tower in the top lane, it looks like. Starting to push down some towers using Havos, the Pugner, as well as the Enigma. They can maybe start pressuring the tier 2, but Mag already dropping down the Firefly, and it looks like Na'Vi not going to fully commit to this. The Enigma is already backed off. Puppey actually getting some fast arcane boots, and he's coming back, so it does look like they want to sort of pressure the tier 2, not just the tier 1.
Yeah, Arcane's, I think, a good choice this game because these other two heroes that are in the tri-lane, so to speak, are extremely mana-intensive. This allows Savos to go straight for the mech. He's getting a bit more farm than Puppey is now, and especially with the tower last hit, which I believe did go to him. Indeed it did, and also Kuroki, very mana-intensive hero. So this will resolve most of the team's mana issues, and they still get the fast mech. Essential for pushing. Overall, I gotta say, Empire, great first blood from them. Na'Vi with the courier snipe coming right back, and the early tower. Well, I was gonna say it's pretty even, but when you factor in the tower goal and experience, it's actually Na'Vi, despite giving up that first blood, who's still quite far ahead.
Yeah, it's a 2.5k gold lead very early on, and the tower gold only making up for, like, I guess, like 1k of that, and then I guess the courier another 1,000 gold. So Na'Vi they've got a jungle Enigma, which is where they're just so much more efficient with their farming and their jungling. As for Empire, they've got two kind of roaming supports who are sitting mid lane for a lot longer. So Na'Vi essentially have one extra hero actually farming in lane.
Of course, for Empire, the good news is Mag is getting close to his blink, already up to level 7 at 7 minutes in. Really keeping the pace with Puppey. In fact, he's ahead of him after getting that kill on the Bounty Hunter. Good level progression for him, and, well, with your treads coming out in the Shadow Fiend, Empire focusing on these early to mid-game items. The second night is about to end. 1 minute, or sorry, the first night about to end. 1 minute to go. Vank score primed for a lift here. Can he get in range? No, he's just short.
Dendy's reaction time is just, like,
he didn't even have to use the phase boots there. He still had phase to run away if he needed to.
It's like the exact millisecond the hero show, he's already on retreat. Like, there's no reaction time. It's just like, it's like bot reaction time, basically. This guy's insane.
And he's also just in general playing very cautiously because he knows that Rubik Naga, strong roaming duo, likely to be ganking him repeatedly. They haven't been on the map for some time. Funnick hasn't felt any pressure bottom, so Dendy is looking at and saying, if they're not harassing Funnick bottom, if they're not trying to kill him bottom or push, then they're almost certainly coming for me.
Well, Dendy getting harassed quite heavily, but he's got supports rotating in. They're going to be looking for a kill here on Scandal.
Got Black Hole here. Stun being channeled by
Ah.
Dendy, but he's given it up. I think Scandal knows now. Yeah, Dendy going to stun himself. That is a dead giveaway that there's a gank coming.
Yeah, no, it looks like Puppey's still lingering around Kuroki as well. Maybe Na'Vi just go for a push instead, but
they definitely can. If they bring the Pugna in, he's already got mech, and Empire have good counter push, but I think the mech and Enigma Eidolon should be enough to bring this down.
Yeah, Havos doing a good job actually just pressuring the tier 2 top. We're going to force a rotation from Mag. Mag, 2k gold, and that Blink Dagger is going to be up in no time at all. With some help from the first blood, but even so, Mag with a 9-10 minute Blink Dagger will be something Na'Vi have to worry about.
Oh, haste up on Dendy. Funnick not yet level 6. That would be ideal for this, but here comes your push. The Eidolon's being spread. Scandal very reluctant to get in range. Normally you'd like want to see a sentry behind the tower here, but there is none forthcoming. And now Dendy comes in with a haste. He's gotten off a stun, always want to fly. That's going to be a one kill going back Na'Vi's way. Now your score is 1-1. Dendy, he'll hunt for more, but I don't think he's going to find it. And in the end, this pretty much clears the way for them to take this tower mid.
Yeah, Mag's going to be on the high ground here. Maybe he can Firefly down and grab someone.
70 gold away from Blink.
He had it here.
Could easily grab Puppey, pull him out of position, and just look to get a quick pick off. But instead, what can he actually do?
TP's coming in. Puppey going to be the one getting grabbed here. No Black Hole for him, but they've already lost Vank. So Puppey gets focused down, so no Black Hole this fight. As for Na'Vi, not having the Pugna here with a mech is kind of hurting them, and not going to hurt them enough because Alchemist actually kills the Naga Siren. So 2 for 1 so far going in Na'Vi's favor.
That was all Kuroki there. Magic sticks up and drops a full damage Soul Assumption. They're not done yet, though. They're going for Scandal. Track is deployed. Oh, you cannot be giving up kills. But, oh, I don't think they're going to. And then Silent drops an Eclipse, but the Creep Wave largely tanking it. Now he gets stunned. If there's one more Soul Assumption, he's dead. But do they have it? They need a Janata crit, anything to bring him down. He's barely going to live, but still a very costly engagement here for Empire. Using up their Eclipse, getting absolutely nothing in return.
Yeah, and the other, they're kind of far behind because their supports don't have any damage up, but they've got a level 4 Naga Siren, a level 3 Rubik. Every Na'Vi hero is level 6 or higher. This is a huge discrepancy between the two teams' levels, and that's what really hurts Empire now. The gold lead is one thing, like it's 4k gold lead, that's not good, but you can fight if you're behind on gold, if you have your level 6s and your ultis and just all your key levels, but Empire not having that means they can't fight right now.
Yeah, a lot of people looked at the patch notes and they saw a less valuable jungle in general. A lot of creeps give you less experience, give you reduced gold, but I think this game proves that there are still a lot of very viable junglers. I like the Enigma, and in some ways, if you're getting the right spawns at the medium camp, you end up even having a more efficient jungle pattern than what you normally would, where you'd start with rotating between the small and the large camp at first. So, well, Puppey already level 8. That gives a lot more experience to your Visage, and Na'Vi just finding a way to take advantage of every little bit of the map so far. But here comes the push mid from Empire. The Blink Dagger should now be up. Indeed it is, but Mag's not with them. He's actually sitting at that top lane, and Na'Vi see this and say, you know what, they cannot actually do anything. Grave Chill comes in, stuns, 1, 2, double stun onto Silent. Now the nukes are going to come out. The Alchemist stun not doing a thing because it is physical damage. Silent still alive for now, low but not dead yet. They did get the stun off, but just without the damage wasn't there. Puppey has a black hole. Does he look to drop it here? Life Drain coming through. Right clicks coming through. It's a track kill, and they get it on 4, maybe 5 heroes. Now it's just for Na'Vi. You want to pub clump and just keep on finding these pickoffs.
Yeah, they're just getting kill after kill here, and this is before they've even really... They're not even truly pushing it. Pugner's coming to these fights, but he has had no mana for like the last couple of minutes here. He doesn't have mana for his mech, hardly has mana for his blast, but
Na'Vi... black hole here, but Vang score, he doesn't have level 6, but he would be in position to cancel it. Denny lobs the stun. Decent damage done. Do they have a familiar follow-up? 1, 2. Yes, they do. It's another track kill. This one to 5 heroes as well. And a few more kills like that, and this game will be all but out of reach for Empire. Already trailing by nearly 8k gold. That tower top starting to fall, but with Black Hole online, with the mech cooling down, actually still available, there is just no way for Empire to defend. And God, these under-leveled supports, level 4 on Rubik, level 5 on Naga, they just can't do anything.
Yeah, and it's really hard for Batrider to even come in, even with a Blink Dagger. You can't really be blinking into 5 heroes for pickoffs. If you don't grab the Enigma, you get immediately Malefice. Alchemist can start immediately channeling a stun. There's Grave Chill, there's Track to keep movement, to give you extra movement speed. So until he has a 4 stuff, it's hard to actually come to fights as a Batrider against a 5-man Dota, which for Mag is a bit of a problem here. He can't get the pickoffs he wants with this Blink.
And the other issue is you're up against 5-man Dota, but you just can't split push. You don't have the most mobile carries. Shadow Fiend and Luna are not particularly adept at escaping ganks, and even if they had the Shadow Blade on, say, the Shadow Fiend, there's still track, and Funnick with a Vlad's up, you bring in one other hero, that's an easy kill, so Empire bottled into their own base, unable to do anything. Na'Vi will now farm their jungle, and if they want to go Roche, they can do it now. There's a Medallion up on Puppey, they already have the mech, they have the Vlad's on Funnick. They might wait until they take this tier 2 bottom, but after that, the way to Roche lies 100% open. Empire really running out of options to contest Na'Vi.
Yeah, Empire, it just feels got a bit greedy here, going for the Luna and Shadow Fiend, and then having supports, which were very defensive supports, but you can't really do that in the current metagame, because supports get more gold, but your supports need levels if you want to fight early, and we're just not seeing it. No Naga Siren ultimate still in play.
Try to go in now, but this just does not look good for Mag. He's very reluctant to use his Blink Dagger. Now he gets Malefice. Now he gets Focus. Kuroki's still alive. It'll be Mag who dies first. Didn't even blink initiate. Couldn't even look to do so. Now Funnick comes in looking for Silent. He's going to drop 2-0. They haven't even really had to use their full arsenal of abilities yet. There's still a Black Hole online. And in the end, they are going to live. Kuroki barely surviving there. And Na'Vi marching down this bottom lane. They didn't even have the Pugner with them. There was no mech in that fight.
I was about to say, like, where's the mech for these teams? I was like, oh, Havos farming up the top lane, no problem. Na'Vi just casually taking a 4v5 fight right by the enemy tier 2 tower. And
suddenly, 3,800 gold on Dendy.
Yeah.
What do you go here? I mean, straight Abyss or straight Assault Cuirass would be a fantastic pickup, and
straight Necro 3.
Necro 3, yeah, I like it. Kuroki might be voting one here. No, it looks like he's going Eggs.
Yeah, that'd be very gimmicky. I don't think he'll do that, but that would be fun to see.
Looks like might go Radiance. Could be an Abyssal Blade, but picks up the Relic now, so either one an option. And
I guess Radiance did get some nice little buffs, so
bigger AoE in this patch, and the past patch does significantly more damage. So
Abyssal Blade very rarely a first item. Like, again, no one has a BKB yet. You don't really attack fast enough to justify it, so I think this could just be a Radiant.
They are gonna fight the Boast. He just wanders in mid, right past the Radiant Sentry. Just happened to have it in lane to do with the Bounty Hunter earlier, did Empire, and poor Havos just casually dives in and gets lassoed.
Unfortunate.
Yeah. Can't really fault him too much for that, although I don't really know what he was going to accomplish there 1v5.
He was scouting. He was pretending to be Bounty Hunter.
Yeah.
He's like, I can do my best Funnick impression.
Well, either way, despite the death, this is still all Na'Vi all the way. The drums are up. Everybody's got basic utility items. A lot of heroes going for big farming and damage items at this stage, and if Denny wants Radiance, he'll get close to it soon. For Empire, a lineup that needs a ton of farm, a ton of levels to really hit their stride, just bottled up, boxed in, feels like they're asphyxiating, and asphyxiating rather quickly at that.
And Puppey going to be going for a pipe for his team. He's got the hood. Looks like his pipe, maybe not quite on. He doesn't have the recipe. Okay.
A Puppey pipe. Sounds like a good choice.
Well, Puppey does love his pipe.
Oh boy, he certainly does. And now Na'Vi, they'll group up towards the bottom lane. Winter would be proud of this pipe pickup, and I think Na'Vi will be quite proud of themselves in game 1 if they keep this up. The tower being sieged, dropping quickly to the familiars. Na'Vi about to take the second to last outer tower of the game. There's a Sentry Ward drop, but what does it really do for you when Na'Vi are just going to march right past it with the Vlads up on Funnick? Massive AoE in general for them. Auras, nukes, mech gets deployed, and here we go. Onto the high ground, another Sentry drop. They're very worried about this Bounty Hunter. Even Luna, not too useful against Eidolons, against Familiars. Just so many things that can generally tank your nukes or just prevent you from getting into the fight immediately. The tower now going to be dropping quickly. Already a glyph forced out. Will Empire look to mount defense? They're busy dewarding, and in the meantime, they have caught Puppey, but Dendi charges in, gets a stun off on 2. Black Hole could be following up. Puppey gets pushed away, though. Can't get off the Black Hole. Now the Eclipse coming through, but Always Wanna Fly was sleeping. Several of those nukes missed, and now they get double. Black Hole, 2 dead, 3 dead, 4 dead, and Na'Vi on that climactic note almost certainly have just won game 1.
We didn't get to see the Radiance, we didn't get to see the Puppey Pipe, but it looks like they're not even needed to win this game. Empire lose 4 in their own base. Aghanim's picked up for Kuroki. The item pickups for Na'Vi just completely destroying Empire. 16 minutes, something like a 12k gold lead, and Na'Vi going to force the GG.
Very interesting kind of tweak to Na'Vi's common playstyle in 6.78, which was, well, we'll see Denny get thrown into the fountain here. Maybe a few last kills, but now the throne dies. It will be a game 1 victory for Na'Vi. But yeah, guys, to me, this was a very interesting tweak because they went for the Bounty Hunter. Normally, when we see Na'Vi pick up the Bounty, it's like with a Havos Lifestealer, a Dendi Bat Rider, like this race car pick-off lineup, out-farm your opponents, angle for late game, and play more of like a 30-40 minute game. But they went for the Bounty. They went for the Alk, and then they used them a bit differently. They throw the Alk in mid. He's kind of their big initiator for the team. Rather than using track to secure farm and kills, they use it just to zone the enemy out, take towers quickly, and nice little adjustment from Na'Vi, but just showing no matter how they play, in any patch, they're going to be across.
Yeah, I feel like the Pugna pick wasn't even important. Havos could have been on any hero here. It was like the Alchemist at mid being influential, the Bounty Hunter in the offlane, and Enigma in the jungle being like a greedy farmer in this current version seems like a good way to be playing the game, and Visage seems as strong as ever. So if Na'Vi had a closer early game, I think the Pugna pick would have been important, because that's when Na'Vi say, hey, look, we're just going to start 5-manning, taking towers. Your Bat Rider may have a Blink Dagger, but you can't blink into 5 heroes.
And I think this is where, if you're Empire, you go back to what we were talking about during the early stages of this game, even after the draft, it's you see a jungle Enigma, you have to go aggressive. You can't just let him free farm and also not get a good trade. The Bat Rider jungle was reasonably quick, but just doesn't come out of the jungle and push a tower down the way Enigma does. Doesn't come to the fights and offer as much until he gets his blink, which is a lot to farm.
Yeah, I guess that's when Na'Vi just going for those constant lane switches to make sure in the early game they had the Bounty Hunter against the Trilane was the big thing there, which gave him the easy early game start. So. Yeah,
great start for Na'Vi. Guys, it is a best of 3. WePlay's playoffs are well underway, but we're not anywhere near being done just yet. Game 2 is going to be coming up next. Empire need to win 2 in a row, else they will drop down to face Liquid in the loser bracket round 1 match. That match coming up at 20 CST today. Stay tuned.